So a little over 2 hours ago we got update 27.4. This is part 1 of the Railjack Revisited. And when I say this is part 1 of the Railjack Revisited, they have touched pretty much everything when it comes to Railjack related everything. And when I say everything, I'm not even kidding. The Veritux now does 170 more damage. The Onyx has added a mastery ranking to it. It now goes from rank 0 to rank 1. Like, anybody at mastery rank 0 plays Archwing anyway. It's physically impossible, so that is kind of meaningless. But they have changed the damage from it, or for it, from 290 all the way up to 412. Pretty much the same with everything they have done here. Mastery rank increase in damage, increase in stats. Then it starts to get a little bit more insane. These mastery rank 4 for the Kazas, but yet again, more damage, more status, more crit chance. Wrathbone, same thing. That was kind of expected. It is a big weapon. Mastery rank 6 now does 450 damage instead of the 280 it was doing before, with status and such increase. The Nux, mastery rank 7, with the damage going from 325 to 445, with only an increase in the crit chance. Not really a great thing there. The Centaur, yeah, mastery rank 8. I kid you not, these are going up. There is one thing that I didn't really like about all of this, and that is the fact that, oh, well, there is no way the Prisma version of the Veritux, that is, by the way, the Prisma Veritux is a rank 8 weapon, and it now does less damage than the normal one. The Veritux does near enough 100 more damage. Yes, it may be a little bit quicker, the Prisma version, but yeah, it does less damage. That's pretty much the first time they've brought out a Prisma version of a weapon that is, on paper, worse than the normal one. Though it does have a lot more crit chance and a lot more status. Damage-wise, it's just laughable, really. For the arc guns themselves, you have a little bit of accuracy increase here and there. Nothing really major on any of these, apart from, well, no, that's about it. They increased the accuracy on the Imperator Vandals for some reason, but it seems to be exactly the same as the Imperator. I don't know if it was different beforehand. I still use this thing not because it has more damage, but because it has a bigger magazine anyway, so most of these are exactly the same. I think they changed the fall off on, oh, what was that cover, that thing? They changed the fall off on that so it has a little bit more range. Not really sure why this one's in here, but they've updated the relic packs, still technically a relic pack, to show you when they are uncommon, rare, and the parts that they drop. It actually makes it much easier to be able to see what you can get. Not that it was a problem before, because it still kind of listed the parts that dropped from it, which made it perfectly fine, but now it's just visually more appealing. Kind of like the marketplace. It has been, dare I say, slightly reworked, so it looks a bit better. You will notice first off that the button down here for hiding owned items is gone. That's because they've added a filter option where you can hide things that you have mastered, so if you own it, it should still appear, and then things that you own, but then things that don't come with blueprints, which is pretty much everything. Okay, did not see that coming. But if you go to weapons, well, yeah, this is a mainline update, so no new toys to play with, I guess. That's because every single aspect of this update is related to the Railjack. And I do have some stats from what this looked like earlier, but quickly looking at this, it's all pretty much exactly the same, which it's not really supposed to be. Okay, going back to the earlier stuff, you can tell because the ship in the background's a little bit different and it still has the name and such on there, which yes, I took off because a lot of people complained about that one, but actually I took it off because it didn't look right, if I'm being honest. Yeah, engines, 104, whereas now, I've lost them, 180. All of the engines I have and everything else are exactly the same, but yeah, okay, armor. That's not right. That's not right at all. Something has gone terribly wrong. I'm guessing it has something to do with, no, that one. Okay, all of the mods have gone. That would do it. It's pretty hard for it to, yeah, so your Railjack mods have been removed. So first thing you really want to do before you do anything else after this update, put all the mods back in. So not even maxed most of these mods. The reason they still look like this with a little bit is because I upgraded the grid more than anything else, which didn't get reset luckily because that was expensive and annoying. But it has a little bit more armor, a lot more speed, a little bit more shields. The shield recharge, probably because I haven't modded it correctly, but yeah, so far everything points to being pretty good from the mod screen point of things. Anyway, one of the things I liked more than anything else is you actually have different options in here for the mods themselves. The search function is still here, but most of these things, well, kind of there before, where apparently the incomplete screen wasn't. The incomplete screen is a whole new thing for the mod UI, not just of Railjack. If you go to the mod terminal on your orbiter, it is pretty much the same thing. There is no more just going to the end of the list and sometimes having a few mods show up that don't really do anything. Yeah. Now there's a whole tab of incomplete. These are mods that you have never maxed endoing. You only have to do it once. You don't have to do it to every. I don't have to do 32 of those. You just have to do it to one and it shouldn't show up here. And then we get to the end of the list and it shows every mod you have not yet found. And coming in January is Command for intrinsics, which no, I never maxed any of. Oh, no, wait, it's not coming in January. Maybe it'll come in February. Nope. March? Nope. April? Definitely not. Maybe it'll come in May. I guess it's not early 2020 anymore when you are nearly halfway through the year. It'll come one day. Maybe. It's not like the perfect chance to release that would be when you have part 1 of a major rework of Railjack or anything. Hopefully it'll come in part 2 though. Way better shields. Right. Okay. What? Yes, that is more than doubled. I did not expect that to happen. Okay, I have no idea what distance you're at right now, but no pops into mind. In a good way. Who knows? Oh, so ships, seriously, go away. That, right. It was 200 for one of these earlier. It is now, as we will find out momentarily, it should be about 400. You need to go away now. Yeah, it was about 400, so it has doubled the vacuum range, which is great. Mainly because I have nothing set up for this whatsoever, but my favourite part of this, oh yes, Archwing has been, I'm just going to say, buffed. Now, granted, I know this is still technically Earth. These guys are easy no matter what you do. The most important part of this, which is why I'm kind of just taking pot shots at enemies, I'm getting shot to bits. You may remember that kind of attack from a cruise ship earlier would kill you no matter what you did. I mean, okay, Mr. Cruise Ship, you're annoying me. Oh, that's not good. That's really not good. Where are you going? Actually, everybody knows where that's going. That's going to blow up. Where'd the cruise ship go? You stay there. Yeah, Archwing has more health, more shields, more everything. It is much more survivable in space than it was before. Before, it was a joke, really. Whenever you left Railjack, you died. Instantly. Now, you do not do that. This is probably my favourite part of all of this. Well, being able to do this to a cruise ship as well. Probably also really good. But, when you do get to higher level stuff, as you could probably imagine, they are going to straight up annihilate you. They are supposed to have, as it says, half the health. I would beg to differ on that one. They are also still doing a lot more damage than they were before. Oh, my sentinel's dead. No, actually, that's about right. Normally, that wouldn't really deal a great deal of damage to you. Actually, what I should do before I go in there is, well, Archwing is much better than it was before. And there's only one real way to test this. Let's go into space and see how fragile you now are on higher missions. Okay, it is actually dealing a lot more damage to enemies than it was before. If you can actually hit them, and yeah, okay, so it takes more damage, but it deals more damage, but you take way more damage. Also, what are all of those over there? Then, if we go to the forums and kind of ignore this long list of fixes, because as I mentioned earlier, it's in the description below, fixes, long list of them. If you want to read them, go have a look. General changes, same kind of thing. Ribbons, when you actually link them, will show the weapon that they fit in now. Yay! Finally. They show the daily cap limit for the bounty screens in Cetus, which is the bottom picture, and Fortuna, which is the top picture. They should really be backwards. If they're going to list it Cetus and Fortuna, it should have been Cetus at the top, Fortuna underneath, not Fortuna at the top and Cetus underneath. That's just being petty if we're being honest. And then there is, and I want to come up to this, the defendable object healing AoE and damage reduction changes. Gora was fine as she was. Hildren, same kind of thing, fine as is. Trinity's Blessing, I read this and thought, yeah, if it's up to 100 HP and shield restore for the normal effect, it doesn't do anything to static defendable objects, cryopods, excavators, defendable things of all natures. Now it does. 500 over 5 seconds. Okay, 100% HP. Not 100 HP. And full shields. I don't know why this doesn't just say fully heals health and shields. It kinda does, but never mind. Now, it'll do 500 health over 5 seconds for whatever you are defending. That is actually pretty useful. This has also been added to the Visarion. Harrow now has a chance to do this. Heals, but it's capped at 50 per second. A lot of the other ones, Volt's shield is capped to 250 shields, no over shields. Ooh, that, okay, now I see how that would work. Capped at 50 seconds. Wait, I saw another one. No, it was just the two. Trinity and Visarion. However, one that will make a few people happy, and this is basically all we're going to mention about it, Cora will be returning the functionality as it was before. Then there is the damage reduction side of this, which a lot of people will look at this and not make sense of it. And just before I get into this, I did a video for Titania finally, and talking about her buffs and bonuses, I said Thorns adds 50% damage. That's to enemies, which it does still technically do. Thorns is an ability for any game ever that when an enemy hits you, they take damage. Thorns does exactly the same thing. I have obviously edited it in a really bad way that makes it sound like I meant it adds damage to Titania, when I was talking about Full Moon, which works on allies anyway. But yeah, it says it's fine as is, because this whole column, where in my favourite one of this, when I first looked at this, Warding Halo for Neja absorbs 90% of damage, but it's capped at 50% damage reduction. That's because all of the 50% damage reduction caps, which is pretty much anything that has a damage reduction, Gora's Splinter Storm, Ember's damage reduction ability, all of it. Baruch, Harrow, I've already mentioned Titania, Trinity, Mirage, all of them. This is on cryopods, excavators, etc. This is when you cast the ability on whatever you are supposed to be defending. This coming from basically the big... Ooh, I'm not even going into that one. The big thing they did a while ago that doesn't include cryopods, excavators, and the such. Well, now they've capped it at a reduction rather than being able to make them immune. I know a lot of people have gotten mad about this in the past. I'm sorry, when I play games like that, I have 100% damage reduction. I use Frost. Of course, one of the big things a lot of people are going to be happy about, especially those fashion framers, will be the Helminth cyst can now be removed in the Helminth infirmary after 1 day instead of waiting a whole week. So instead of it appearing as a tiny little pink dot and then growing over a week, you can now get rid of it after 24 hours. I know a lot of people are going to be happy about that because a lot of people hate it and a lot of people just don't care. I was amazed, actually, reading over a few comments in here, how many people didn't know you could actually get rid of it before today anyway. It's always been here. If you have the cyst, you can open the door in your orbiter. If you don't have it, you can't get in there unless you use Nidus. So once you go in there and have it removed, that frame can never go back into that room. That's why I leave it on the normal frames and take it off the primes. But most of these changes come down to things like the damage has been increased on a few things, not by a lot, but by enough that it makes a huge difference. The on-foot combat reduced the health of all Grineer enemies by half. I would really question that one, because once you get to the higher level stuff, they are still ridiculously hard to take out. But yeah, until I can actually get some of the Mark III Zetki stuff, or the Vidar, or whatever the better ones are, a lot of this is kind of meaningless. Hopefully I will get much further than I did before, because it's a lot more playable than it was. But once you get to the Veil side of this, it's still completely nuts. And best to do as a team, don't try and solo that. That, for the record, the mission I was doing failed epically. But that's just the Veil for you. But ton of changes to Railjack, so I guess that's where everybody's going to be for the next few hours. I'm saying that it's already been a fair few hours. I got really sucked into Railjack there. So we'll leave this off here for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.